Corsair just refreshed their entire K70 TKL keyboard lineup with the K70 Core TKL, the K70 Core Wireless TKL, and to top it all off, the K70 Pro TKL. But I'm going to try to make this as sweet and brief as possible. We're going to cover every board, but anything that they all have in common, I'm going to kind of consolidate as one, like the software, for example, right? But anyways, let's dive into the K70 Core TKL. As far as in your box, of course, you're going to get your keyboard, then you get your detachable USB A to C cable, very thick, heavy-duty braided cable here. As far as looking over the board, obviously, it is a TKL. As far as your keycaps on the core, they're double-shot ABS, but you do have a nice little texture on them. Nothing excessive by any means, but it's nice to have a little bit of texture so your fingers aren't sliding around on them. By the way, before anyone starts questioning my upside-down spacebar, I do this on all of my keyboards. Trust me and try it because it sits perfectly on your desk, so your wrist isn't up. It's just going to flow with your desk right there. Try it before you start commenting on it, right? Anyways, looking further over the board, you can see you got your multimedia dial over here, which you can adjust your volume, press it down, you can mute it, but you can also customize this in IQ, which again, I'll show you in the software. You just go function F12 up there, and then again, you have your volume, function F12, you can adjust your RGB, turn it down, and again, you can set it to other things in IQ, which I'll show you later on as well. And then you got this custom button over here, play, pause, whatever you want to do with that, you can customize in IQ. Again, I'll show you when we dive in IQ. As far as the surrounding bit of the case, it is plastic right around here, but then you got this aluminum plate on the top. Now, when we disconnect the board, right back here, you see you got your USB-C port, and it's not recessed in there. So if you got a custom cable, I think any of them are going to fit. As far as the bottom of the board, little Corsair logo right down here. You got rubber feet. These feet are actually rubber coated on them. So don't be confused if you don't see a rubber foot up there. These are actually rubber coated. Popping them out, you got one level of pop out feet. Again, rubber coated there. Now, as far as the board itself, you do have that stock ergonomic incline, as you can see right here from the board, and that's pretty much what I kept it at. It never popped out my feet. Further looking over the board on the front here, you can see everything can be adjusted on. You get your media controls, your RGB, and again, all that can be adjusted and saved on the board. I believe it's 5 profiles you can save on it. Now let's take a look at the K70 Core TKL wireless version here. As you see, a couple different things you're going to get in the box. Well, number one, you get your USB A to C braided cable again. You do get your dongle here because it is wireless, but you also get this wrist rest. Very nice, soft, and plush. You got rubber feet on the bottom as well. I mean, this thing is cozy for sure, and it just magnetizes right onto the keyboard there. But coming over to the keyboard, you're going to see a few differences. Well, number one, you still got the same layout, TKL. Yes, my spacebar is still upside down, but the thing you're seeing different is right up here. Number one, you still got your dial, which you can customize. You still got your shortcut button, which you can customize in IQ, but you have this button over here, which is just a quick game mode button. So you just bam, press it, and it goes right into game mode. It's going to disable your Windows key and anything else you disable in there. Really like having that just quick shortcut right there. But other thing that is going to be different on this, as far as core differences of performance, is this has snap tap or quick trigger, whatever you call it, rappy, snappy, whatever it is. You go function, right shift, and you can see your A and D turns yellow right there. Now, we're not in game mode, but you can also do that in game mode as we activate that, bam, and now you can see it's right there. This is a feature I need. I've been planning a video for this, and I just keep delaying it, but this is a feature that is absolutely game-changing. So really nice to have this. The weird thing is on Corsair's website, when you look at the core, they actually show the TKL Core having this feature as well, but I can't seem to get it to work, updating the firmware and everything, and it still doesn't work. So not too sure what's going on there. But now as far as underneath the board, pretty much the exact same. You got your single level of pop-out feet, rubber coated right there and all. Coming over to the backside, you do have some dongle storage, so you can take your dongle, bam, slide it right in there, tucks right down. But now on the backside, you have your USB-C port, but you also have wireless, and then you also have Bluetooth. And coming up here to the front, you can see you have your Bluetooth profiles right up there on your shortcut keys. Now with this keyboard being wireless, the battery life is pretty darn good. You get up to 39 hours with the RGB on in wireless mode. Now with the RGB off in wireless mode, you can get up to 890 hours. Like, holy smokes, I didn't know RGB made that big of a difference. And then if you're just in Bluetooth mode here with the RGB off, you can get 2,400 hours. So I think the majority of us, again, are gonna be probably using it wireless with our RGB on, maybe not at 100% like you're seeing right here, maybe 50%. So you're going to be able to boost up that 39 hours. Now let's talk about the Mac Daddy of them all, being the K70 Pro TKL. As you saw with the wireless and the core, they were fairly similar, minus wireless and a few different features, right? But the K70 Pro is packing a whole lot. As far as core layout, you're seeing pretty much the exact same build and all. You got the plastic casing going around, the aluminum plate, as you've been seeing on them all. On the Pro, you also get that nice, soft, plush wrist rest here. Again, these things are so darn cozy. Magnetizes right to the board. As far as your USB A to C cable here, it is rubber coated. Not too sure why this one's different from the other ones. I have no idea why. But anyways, going further into the board here, you're going to see some differences, which might be hard to see. Well, that's the keycaps first off, as you can get this keyboard in PBT or ABS. We have the PBT version here, and they feel very similar. Maybe just a slight bit more grain, but it's weird why they offer two variations. It's a $10 difference. I think it's just going to create confusion. Should have just made it straight PBT, or again, reduced the price at 10 bucks and made them double shot ABS. So let's go on and disconnect this right back here. You can see back here is your USB-C port on the bottom, pretty much the exact same, rubber feet, rubber feet. I'll tell you what, this keyboard is definitely the heaviest out of all of them. And why that is, I believe, is this one has the adjustable magnetic switches. Now they did just like SteelSeries. If we pop these off, you can see over here, your core keys are the adjustable ones. Over here, your arrows, your shortcuts, and your function rows are not adjustable. That's exactly what SteelSeries does with the Apex Pro, which is just weird. Like, why? Does that save that much money? Now, with the K70 Pro having adjustable switches, it does also have rapid trigger, as you can see on the box right there. It's got snap tap, which is, again, just function shift. Well, I had it on. Anyways, you can see right there, they turn yellow. If we go into game mode, you can probably see it a little bit better there. One thing I forgot to mention, as far as the snap tap, it will not work if you have iCUE loaded up. Corsair told me that will be in a future firmware update, so it will still work if you have iCUE active. It's just kind of weird. Again, you got your software active, but then it won't work. You just go function shift, and they'll never light up. It'll never work right there. So you have to have iCUE closed currently. So again, hopefully that is an update coming up here shortly. But as far as adjustable switches, these feel amazing. They're not too light. I've been testing other keyboards and everything, and some of them are just maybe a little bit too soft. These feel amazing. Like, these are very, very nice as far as that tension and then the feel as well. Now, one other thing about the K70 Pro TKL is this one also features 8,000 polling rate, which you can set to 1,000 or up to 8,000. I leave all of my gear at 4,000 just to leave it smooth and steady without any hiccups, and it performed absolutely flawless. Now, as far as performance of all these boards, I tested every single one of them with the multiple functions they have, whether it be that snap tap, the adjustable switches, the wireless, or again, just the basic core. I'll tell you what, they all performed absolutely amazing. The biggest difference that you're going to notice, of course, is the adjustable switches. But for me, even more than adjustable switches is snap tap. I mean, that is a feature I need on my keyboards right now. I've been dabbling with a little bit more FPS. And again, it's just one of those features I truly notice. It's, again, makes that motion a whole lot more smooth. But I think it's really cool how Corsair gave you the option. It didn't just shove the top of the line down your throat. You got options to choose. What are you going to utilize? And that's what you can get. And I truly love that. I state this with all the products I review, whether it be headsets, mice, keyboards, that I wish companies release a range of, again, the low end to the medium to the high end right there. So you can pick. We can pick what we want. You don't need rapid trigger or adjustable switches maybe. So heck, just spend $100 on the core. If you want wireless, you have the option over here for only $50 more at $150. absolutely love that. Now, when you come over here to the Pro, you're talking $180 with ABS keycaps and $190 with PBT, which again, I think is just going to be stinking confusing. But again, I think it's so cool giving you the options to have here. Now, what I wish they would have is the Pro in wireless. That I would absolutely love. That would make it perfect. Of course, it'll be incredibly expensive, probably upwards around $250 right there. So I know we all be like, oh, yo, that's crazy expensive. But again, you got that range. If you want it, you can get it. And right now with these options, I think Corsair did really good with the K70. They sound great. They feel great. They got the features and functions that you can pick.